So one place the general anti-natalist position overlaps with my own is that I don't believe life has an ultimate meaning. So it means it all adds up to a sum zero, in principle at least. I don't say like as a scientific thing that we can do that. I don't know like that there's negative energy matching the positive energy. Like if there's an equal amount of antimatter in the universe just somewhere we haven't found it, so that would all annihilate, then materially you could say everything's a sum zero. But we're just talking ethically, morally, in terms of the meaning of life, and it ends up to zero. So when I get afraid, a fear, and there'll be many things I try to do to address the fear. I try to see if it's a realistic fear. What are the material claims? I'm like, hey, fear, stop. I want to see some statistics. And if none of those help address the fear, for example, I find out that I have reason to be afraid, or I think that I do upon reflection. It's a feeling like you're going to lose it all, but it all adds up to zero. So it's a counterintuitive bit of rhetoric there, because you can't lose it all. It all together is zero. If you had it all, you nothing to lose, because it adds up to nothing. If you have it all, you have nothing. So what's the purpose of the fear? The purpose of the fear is to help motivate you to figure out how to hold on to the part you do have. Not everything, the part you do have. And sometimes that fear is just exhausting, and it's like, I would rather be free of this fear than accomplish the goal that my fear is afraid of. I'm on this cliffside, and I would rather not be afraid and relax than climb up that mountain with my broken leg to get out. I just happened to watch this I Shouldn't Be Alive, a couple episodes of that. So at that point, you can merely let go of your fear and not worry about what you're going to lose. And I find that very effective as the last ditch effort of dealing with life when the fear is the oppressive thing more than the danger. And in my life I found this to be really helpful. I mean, I can think of an example in my 20s when I started to get nervous about driving my beat up cars 5 hours every other weekend up into the woods, and I was going to do it, but I just would panic a little that it was going to break down this time, or did I have money to deal with getting a tow, or deal with buying parts on the road, or I had to worry about all of this. And I found I was worrying more about it than was warranted, because when I did break down, I just dealt with it. And so I just should have had the idea of, the fear that it was going to break down was realistic. But so was a belief that it didn't really matter, that, worrying about it all week before the weekend was more stress than not worrying about it and just dealing with it if it happened. Especially since you could worry about it all week, you still have to deal with it when it happens. That worry, which is to me related with the fear, doesn't necessarily help. And so that's in a minor situation. Now, in a more major situation, where you've fallen off the trail and you're on the side of a cliff, it might be good not to, don't isolate yourself off from the fear. Feel a little fear. That fear can motivate some survival instincts. But at the point where it becomes counterproductive, you need to remember what the whole game is for, and that maybe you shouldn't be afraid of losing it all, but you should be afraid of getting it all back.